Testing 1, 2.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أما بعد السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all tonight for this debate session. To begin us with this night, I would like to call upon Brother Ali Walji to lead us with a word of prayer.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Tonight, we have all gathered over here to debate a topic which is the signs of Imam's reappearance are here. We have seen a lot of changes in this contemporary world that normally confuse us as individuals to understand or explain to the younger ones, the generation, that how these changes are taking place and how these changes are related to the holy Imam al-Mahdi ajrallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif, and how it's related to his reappearance and his zuhur. And this discussion is related to the topic of alim al-zuhur, means the signs of the reappearance of Imam al-Mahdi. And we're really glad to welcome you all over here. Without further ado, allow me to call upon the participants for today. So from the proposing side, we have Brother Zuhair Ladak and Brother Mujahid Rustam. Please come and take your seats on the right side. Let's recite a salawat for them as they come up. From the opposing side, we have the team lead, Brother Kambar Somji and Brother Altaf Bimani. Please let's recite a salawat as they come and take their seats. I'm going to be explaining a few rules before we begin, inshallah. Brother Mujahid, please come and take us. So on my left hand side, we have the proposing team, and on my right hand side, we have the opposing team. Each lead speaker will be given 10 minutes to come and present their presentation. The rest of the second speakers will be given 7 minutes. One bell will be rung to notify them that they have 1 minute remaining, and then we will ring 2 bells to notify them that their time is up. The submission for their final presentation, you have 5 minutes. And so without any further ado, I would like to now invite the first proposer, Brother Zuhair Ladak. forgive me for the slight mistake. I forgot to mention our judges for tonight. We have our very own Maulana Sayyid Sikandar Kazim. We have Brother Nishad Kareem, and we have Muhammad Uncle Jafar, the chairman of Jeffrey Islamic Religious Board. I would like to further call Maulana to just elaborate more on why we have chosen this topic before we actually go into the discussion, so we can all have a context behind as to why we are discussing this topic tonight, and therefore we can then enjoy it nicely, inshallah. Let's welcome Maulana with the Lal Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. So basically today in the Jum'ah khutbah as well, we mentioned a number of points over there. One of the very important aspects in relation to our Imam of the time is that when is the time, when is the moment when we can see him again, and when is the reappearance of Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, is going to happen. One of the problems that we have is that in previous days, when the time was very near to the time of when Imam used to live, people used to tell the people when is the time of zuhur. So if you refer to the ahadith, you will find out that many ahadith are regarding the people who are called waqqatun. The people who used to mention the name, mention the time and the dates when it is going to happen, when the reappearance is going to happen. In a number of other ahadith, you will find out that the things that we have in ahadith, some of the scholars, I can name the scholars as well, they presented their views that the signs and the alamat are not denoting any person. It's a very, very important discussion because it's very much misleading, misguiding, and it has ambiguity in it, the idea I'm saying. So the idea they presented is that the signs of reappearance are not for people. Like when we say Sayyid Khurasani, when we say Sayyid Yamani, when we say, for example, Khasb Bayda or other signs, these are not people. Sayyid Yamani is not a person. Sayyid Khurasani is not a person. Or Sufyani is not a person. Dajjal is not a person. They presented the idea that it is somehow an indication, an indirect denotion that this is something which is going to happen. For example, Dajjal has been presented as the misguidance and deviation amongst the non-Muslims and non-believers. And Sufyani has been presented as a sign for deviation and misguidance amongst the Muslim people, because Sufyani is very much related to our own, you would say, the people that we had from the beginning of Islam, Abu Sufyan and the lineage of it. So that is why it is very important to understand whether the ahadith which are presenting the names of the people, say the Khurasani, Sufyani, Dajjal, this and that, are they real people or these are some only general indications? It's number one. Number two, if they are real people, then can we say when is the exact time when the dhuhur is going to happen? Because these signs are in a manner which can be misused in a big level, in a large level. We see, let me present an example over here, though we are not in support of mentioning names and very particular details and explanations, but it was a time when the president of Iran was Ahmadinejad, and at that time people used to say that the signs are there, because Sayyid al-Khurasani is there, and they were used to say that the leader of Iran is Sayyid al-Khurasani, and Sayyid al-Yamani is Hassan Nasrullah, and that person that has been mentioned in a hadith as Salih, who is going to be the commander of Sayyid al-Khurasani, is Ahmadinejad. And later on we saw that the Ahmadinejad was someone who even, currently if you refer to Ahmadinejad, you will find that he is a person who is completely considered as a misguided person. So that is why what happens is, a number of people, just to make people very much encouraged and linked to the religion, they would say, see that the signs are there. All of a sudden what happens, that the people are getting their sentiments towards the signs that we see. And when that link is being destroyed, the sentiment is also being destroyed. So that is alarming situation. One of the examples I presented in Khutbah Jummah, the way they use the black flags for ISIS. And one of the things that we nowadays see, why we are insisting to have more deeper discussions regarding Imam of the time and the signs of Zuhur, because we have too many. I cannot show you the pages over here, because it's going to have the negative impacts. But we have too many pages on YouTube with the people claiming to be Imam Mahdi at this time, with a very graphical content which is completely attracting the youngsters, claiming to be the person, I can name them, but just not to misguide people, I'm not naming them. But you can refer to me if you want the names. So that is why people who are claiming to be Imam Mahdi right now are there. So it's a moment when you have to wake up and let your children, your youngsters know what are the exact signs and who is your Imam of the time. So tomorrow when they are surfing, they are going through the pages and YouTube channels and all, they would not get confused and misguided by the people who are claiming to be Imam of the time, with their all type of methodologies that they are using right now. So that is why we selected this very subject. Some points were there. One of the very important points is that when the participants are going to be participating in questioning, if they had any question, they can participate as well. But it is to be mentioned over here that we are not talking about the religion itself in general. The person who's coming to this debate has to understand that we are talking about a very particular subject. So all other subjects which are based for this subject are already accepted by you. If you had any other question which is not related to our subject today, you may ask that in another occasion. So we are hoping that we may have a very wonderful debate today with the benefits that we are going to have from the people who are going to present and oppose, inshallah, tabaraka wa ta'ala. Thank you so much. Please, you please continue the discussion.
Ahsan Maulana for that insightful information. Inshallah, now without any further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker of tonight, Brother Zuhair Lada from the proposing team, inshallah. Speaker, you're reminded you have 10 minutes and you'll be prompted when you have 1 minute left.
Assalamu alaikum. This is the second time you're seeing me standing on this podium. At the outset, allow me to bring to your attention the fact that the topic itself is substantively heavily open-ended, and it contains a chasm of broadness. You will appreciate this as we go along. The following are the pivotal terms today that seem to be the terms that stand out from the topic. Let us get the tradition out of the way and let's define the most important terms in this topic today. Sign is a word we believe is important. An object, quality, or an event whose presence or occurrence indicates the probable presence or occurrence of something else. The operative word here is probable. Please keep that in mind as we go along. I'll bring it back again. The second word is reappearance. The fact of someone or something arriving, becoming visible, or coming into existence. Of relevance in today's subject, we ask ourselves that going strictly by this definition, has Al-Qaim, Ajarullah Faraj Sharif, not arrived? Or is he invisible to appear later? Or he is not in existence? Because the definition itself creates that kind of a matrix for this particular word. This is a very delicate point, and I want the House to hold on to this thought, because I will come back to it also later on. The coming of a Savior in the end times is part and parcel of every religion in the face of this earth, especially when it comes to their eschatological viewpoint. Islam has a Savior also, the son of Fatima Zahra, Wali al-Asr, Imam Zamana, Ibn Hassan al-Askari, Ajarullah Faraj Sharif. And as every Savior is awaited, because humans naturally seek certainty, and while ours is also awaited, and we cannot access our Savior, they have been given signs to ease their burden so that they know when their Savior will arise. Signs are divided into two broad groups. There are signs called alamat-e-mahtum, which are definite signs. These signs must happen. And alamat-e-ghair-mahtum, which are indefinite signs. They may or may not happen. Other scholars divide the signs into general and specific. Why the division is because there are very many signs, and some of them are specific and some of them are general. Regardless of the distinction, they are all signs. Okay? Major, minor, general, specific, mahtum, ghair mahtum, they are all signs. It is beyond the scope of today's subject. Neither does today's subject purport any distinction to be made between these signs. The term signs in the motion is unqualified, and it is unrestricted. It is broad and all-encompassing. This must sink in. Irrespective of the type of signs, we have to agree that they are here to some degree. If not all, then some. My colleague will detail on some of these signs when he is on the podium during his tenure here. But my task today is to elucidate the futility of the pursuit of the opposition. The topic is very concise in wording. The signs of reappearance are here. Not one sign, not all signs, not some signs, not many signs. It's just sign. All or one is immaterial. Mahtum or ghair mahtum is not in the ambit of the topic today. General or specific is not part of this debate. So it's left to anyone's conjecture as to the quantification of these signs. We as the proposers will stick to the topic as it is presented in front of the House. It is envisaged that the opposers may come here before you and try and dazzle you with terms, suppositions, and pompous sounding phrases such as rise of Sufyani, rise of Al-Yamani, the Sayha from the skies, the Nafs Zakiya, or the sinking of the army or the earth at Al-Baida. Some or all of these signs are yet to occur. Yes, they are important. Yes, but the question is, are they all the signs? Of course they are not. They will have no proof, mind you, that these are the only signs. None whatsoever. But by believing that there are no signs yet, human curiosity will coerce them to go and search for signs. And that distracts somebody from the true objective, and that is actually waiting for the Imam. The ones to occur, the signs which are to occur, will happen, in addition to the ones that have already happened. Okay? Factually, they are stuck between a rock and a hard place. They have to prove zero. None. Signs have occurred. That is their task today. And in their effort subsequently, they will ask you to go out and look for those signs as well. Rather than the Imam that you have been waiting for, and you will end up getting stuck in the little box that they are stuck in. It's like them saying, તમે વ્યાથી શું કરો છો અંકલ? ઓલો આસમાનનો અવાજ તો હમણાં સુધી તો આવ્યો નથી. સોફિયાની ક્યાં ઊભો થયો છે? આવે પછી જોશું. જ્યારે થયા ત્યારે વાત. Why do I say so? The signs that have occurred are part of undisputed fact. Ask yourselves this: is the Imam himself waiting for those signs to occur? Of course he is not. The Imam is actually waiting for the commandment from Allah. Then the next question comes up: is Allah then tied to those signs? Of course he is not. Remember the word probable in the definitions of the word sign. In the definition of the word sign, the word probable was very important, and this is where it comes in. Imam al-Baqir says that the coming of the Imam will be similar to the coming of the hour. Kamathali sa'a, he says. It will happen by surprise. Now, our friends on the other side of the aisle can't access the Imam. They are in denial of the presence of the signs which are already here, and they are waiting for new signs to come. Which signs neither Al-Qaim is waiting for, nor Allah is obligated. Every hadith that has come with the signs always says in the end, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Now, in our opinion, that stance makes them completely blind, does it not? They seem to have been left out to hang to dry on a clothesline. In our language, we would say latkai. At least they would have had some blurry vision by accepting the signs that have already been present. But they have now rendered themselves imprisoned to the pursuit of the absolute occurrence of the signs that are yet to come. And it would be, of course, fair to say that they are in denial of the existing signs, and they will pull you into that denial. The signs are on the horizon. For those who want to see can see them. More are to come, yes, but there are indeed those that have already occurred. I'm sure they want signs. We will give them signs. As signs as big as billboards, with all the flashy lights and all the tingly sounds. Al-Fitan wal-Malahim is a book written by Ibn Hammad, a Sunni scholar, who is a contemporary of Imam Ali Rida alayhi salam, who was probably one of the first books written on Islamic eschatology. The famous book, Kitab al-Ghaiba by Nomani, Kitab al-Irshad by Sheikh al-Mufid, Epoch of Appearance by Sheikh Ali Qurani are some of the books that contain the signs, many of which have already come to pass. Just for an example, there is a sign that says that the Arabs shall rise against their rulers. Anyone remember the Arab uprising that engulfed Algeria, Tunisia, Yemen, and famously called the Arab Spring? That sign actually came true. But let's explore out of the box a little. One of the biggest signs of His Excellency's presence is Karbala and the martyrdom of Abu Abdullah. In Dua Nutbah, what do we say? What do we call the Imam? Talibun bidamil maqtul bi Karbala. Is it not? He is the avenger. Karbala having occurred is a sure sign that the Mahdi is here. That the avenger of Imam Hussein's murder is here. He himself, when he appears, will call himself Ibn al-Hussein. He will say, Ya Ahl al-Alam, Inna Jaddi al-Hussein Qutila al-Sham. O people of the world, my grandfather Hussein was slaughtered while he was thirsty. To summarize, the topic as being as broad as it is, we have brought out several points to you. First and foremost is the fact that the historical connotation is there as far as the signs are concerned, the futility of the pursuit of signs, the movement of somebody's attention from the Imam to the signs becomes an aspect, and of course the fact that we cannot avoid the signs that are already here. While I leave this floor to return again at the end, I would like to part with one question. In this matrix, in this triangle, who is the one who is not present? Is it His Excellency Baqiyatullah? Is it the signs? Or is it us? Now let's get busy looking for signs. Shukran, thank you.
I guess the speaker deserves a better and louder salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Alright, the judges are ready. I'd like to invite our next speaker for today, Brother Kamber Somji from the opposing side.
Ilm Sa'a, ilm of time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept ilm Sa'a, ilm of time, to himself as his hidden secret. So any individual whose time of death is written, that secret is with Allah. If I come here on the 23rd night, or if I give sadaqah, for example, these things could change my destiny. In fact, it is said about sadaqah that it can even avert death. Mr. Chairman, honorable judges, and the floor at large, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I stand before you to strongly oppose the motion. The signs of Imam's reappearance are here. My opening remark about Ilm Sa'a mainly targeted one thing, that anything could change while Allah wants it to. Meaning, any of the signs could be changed from time to time. If you look at the topic carefully, and I know my brother gave a very detailed description of the topic, but there's a few things that I don't agree with him on. The signs of reappearance of the signs of Imam's reappearance are here. Keywords, Imam's reappearance. Please take note that you can deduce that the sign of Imam's reappearance, those words, that means very specific signs as to when Imam is going to come. Now they're going to give you all these broad signs and everything, but I'll tell you one thing. When a lady is pregnant, and there are certain signs that show up before she has to go for delivery. My wife was pregnant, and a lady told her, and that night she delivered. So we can't pay attention to just anybody and everybody. So we may be made to believe that these so-called minor signs, or signs like world corruption, injustice, wars, are all signs of Imam Zamana. But in reality, that just could be an occurrence of the world. So please don't be swayed by this. That takes me to my first point. The 5 major signs of reappearance. The meaning of major here is that they must happen. Sheikh Mufid in Kitab al-Irshad says about the minor signs, and I quote, among the total of these events are some which are bound to happen and others which are conditional. Only God knows best what will take place. Unquote. Therefore, we cannot confirm that the signs that they claim, my worthy opponents claim, are signs, but the thing that we can confirm are that there are 5 major signs. These are the advent of Sufyani, the coming of Al-Yamani and Khurasani, the parting of the earth between Makkah and Medina, the killing of Nafs Zakiyah, and the voice from the sky, as my worthy opponent mentioned. Now, as much as I would personally like the Imam to be amongst us, the reality is that these signs that make the difference are not here yet. It's as simple as that. These are the signs that will cause the reappearance. Please, go to the topic again. Imam's reappearance. These are the signs that will cause the reappearance. As simple as that. On to my second point. Al-Yamani. He has been praised by the Prophet and many of the Imams in many ahadith. Imam Jafar as-Sadiq salawatullah wa salamu alayhi says that he is a descendant of my uncle Zayd. His names could possibly be Hassan, Hussein, Said, Mansour, or Nasr. The Yemeni movement that we currently see that is going on has a leader by the name of Abdul Malik Badruddin al-Houthi. And as far as al-Yamani is concerned, there has been a number of people who have claimed that we are the al-Yamani, according to Allama Bakir Majlisi in his behalf. Al-Yamani will do two things. Simple, will do two things. One, he will be a resistance to the Sufyani, and secondly, he will invite people towards the Mahdi. I wonder if my worldly opponents have received any said invitation. On to my third point, Al-Khurasani, the black flag bearer, the one who will rise up against As-Sufyani, and the one who will pay allegiance to Imam when he reappears. Imam Muhammad al-Baqir says that the rise of As-Sufyani, Al-Yamani and Al-Khurasani will not only happen on the same year, not only the same month, but also the same day. So brothers and sisters, please don't be swayed by my worldly opponents telling you that the fact is that the signs are not here. The reality of the matter is that the signs that matter, that will cause him to reappear, are not here yet. On to my fourth point, the placebo effect. A placebo, during COVID, many of us found out what a placebo is. A certain percentage of them, the treatment for the placebo was given to a certain percentage of the people who are being tested for the COVID vaccine, certain percentage got the placebo. Now, the thing is that a placebo is like injecting water into your body. It has no medical benefit, but sometimes patients feel better when they receive this. So I looked up on the Oxford Dictionary and saw what is the meaning of the placebo effect. The placebo effect is a beneficial effect produced by a placebo drug or treatment which cannot be attributed to the properties of the placebo itself and therefore must be due to the patient's belief in the treatment. Now, my question is, are we having a placebo effect for the signs that we are seeing? Just because we want to see these signs, just because we want Imam Zamana to come? Are we seeing things? Are we making stuff up in our heads? Then maybe this might be the sign. Let's talk about plagues. Plagues have been happening for centuries. How many signs have come? No, that's not true. That is the reality. Dhulm has increased. Tell me, we have left out the slave trade, we've left out slavery, from the brazen bull to electrocution has been removed because they were inhumane. What are we talking about? Dhulm. These are the so-called minor signs which my worldly opponents will deceive you with. Or is it the technological advancements that we see that has brought all this information to our fingertips, and therefore it is making us feel more than ever before that the signs might be here. On to my final point. When ISIS reared its ugly head in 2014, many thought that the Sufyani had arrived. But thanks to Iraqi, Irani and Hezbollah forces, they were driven out of Iraq and Syria. Now, my worthy opponent was the same person in 2014 to have given a call, the bell, an imminent sign that my time is ending. In 2014, he had given a lecture in Bustani and saying that the signs, the appearance of Imam is not yet here because of the lack of signs. I urge him to cross over to my side today and see the logic in my argument. In conclusion, I hope I have managed to show you that the signs that matter for Imam Zamana's reappearance are not here yet. As much as I'd love them to be, Trust me. But they are not here yet. I rest my case.
Ahsan, Brother Qamar Somji, thank you for that presentation. We'll just give the judges a few seconds to just gather themselves before we move to the next participant, next speaker, so they can hear him with full focus.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers, sisters, we are here tonight to discuss the topic that the signs of Imam Zamana's reappearance are here. Discuss a more polite word to dissect the available information or happenings around us and to also apply the faith, generally unseen, intangible, on the stance or belief of the contrary. In monotheistic belief, it is paramount that a causation in fact is established. In a brief summary, causation indicates that one event is a result of the occurrence of the other. There is a knock-on effect between the two events in simpler terms. That's another topic for another day. A bit earlier in the evolution business of that section of topics, however, a good basis to build upon, inshallah, going down the line. With each thought, especially those that result in alternative perspectives on opposite ends, we must examine the consistency of application of the logical flow or rationale that would allow us to see our divergence and, more importantly, reconcile and play a part now, not tomorrow, in realizing the decreed prophecy. Now, if the present cannot be agreed upon, and the future too, we might as well travel to the past and ascertain that these signs are indeed mentioned by those chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without diverging much into the chain. Again, you are free to diverge. Whether strong or weak, the topic reads that the Imam's reappearance, the Imam's signs of his reappearance are here. The sixth Imam as mentioned, or even without direct quotation, examine previous prophecies that were shared by the chosen ones. None or nil of these personalities were in the business of predicting a particular or specific timeline. I mean, let us go back to the beginning of time, or to the end of the world. That, brothers and sisters, is also clear proof that only our Creator is all-knowing. All the prophecies shared or are available and are yet to occur, all are based on impending events. 1 + 1 is 2. A cause that would lead to the prophesied decreed destiny. Now that a need for a timeline to be established is left in the hands of our Creator, where it's supposed to be, it thus allows us to focus on whether the signs are here or not. In this case, are even here, though they may not even have been prophesied or would eventually lead to the mentioned signs. Our Creator is Almighty, All-Knowing, All-Merciful, 96 more names. It can be deduced that the rules of nature as well do not affect or impact Him simply because He is the original cause as previously hinted. He designed this universe, gave purpose, and of course sent His guidance. This is in reference to the messengers He has sent and the Holy Quran we have in possession. the Creator not being bound by the rules of time, so is His word and is an extension, so are the actions and words of the messengers that He has sent to us to guide us on the right path. Since He is limitless, as His creation, why then do we subject Him to the guidelines He has set for us? Timeline is His domain, we agreed. Shall briefly mention the previous holy book. There's a chapter called Genesis where there's a verse, it predicts, it foretells the coming of the 12 Imams. As for Ishmael, I have heard you, behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and multiply him greatly. He shall father 12 princes, and I will make him into a great nation. Clearly, we men, and my soon-to-be guided others, were literal and limited ourselves to that sense, and ended up planning what the Almighty should do. Perspectives, figurative styles aside, if we are on the same basis, same consistency, same logic, same everything, brothers and sisters, can it then result in two opposing outcomes? Now, if we're on the same page, please give me a salawat. To begin to see the light that is happening around us, that is now on a frequent basis, I shall mention the minor signs, different causes of death, frequent earthquakes, wars and worldwide uprisings, unexpected lunar and solar eclipses, heavy rains. Again, I'm referring to these signs as one step after the other that will lead to the major signs. How many have we experienced in terms of variety of reasoning that have led to the loss of our loved ones, moving on to the next one? Let us not go to Arabia just yet. Let us stay here, Mombasa, Arusha, Dar es Salaam, and many more nearby settlements. Various reasons, and even sometimes they do not even correlate with the age or even character of the loved one, especially when it comes to road accidents, and we end up with the if theories. The earthquakes, are we blind? Visually, maybe not, but intrinsically, we shouldn't be. The frequency may be the same according to statistics online, but the magnitudes, impacts, devastation, consequences have definitely gone up a level. The locations too aren't consistent with the expected areas or to past trends in which they would have been an underlying cause, such as movement of plates or the ring of fire as we were taught in school. Countries like Morocco, Turkey and Syria, this is a first for me. Can we have we found an explanation that has satisfied our logical reasoning, moreover the time frame or the period not too far apart from each other? Above conclusions, yes, can be swatched aside as cycle of nature and unpredictability. But using a simple example, placing a cup of chai at the edge of the table is a clear sign of its inevitable spill and glass destruction, that so are these. These natural occurrences that are caused by the intangible, of course, not the Almighty, but rather our own actions. What was the casualty on wildlife or even animals again? Clearly, they are more Muslim or submissive to His will, or in English, more observant on happenings around them, that even the unpredictable nature also gives signs. Wars and worldwide uprisings, this is a clear sign or a better sign of our own actions. Taxes, corruption, look at our own country. Housing levy, a good initiative, but what are the expectations of, what are the expectations and actual probability of the end world? How then can we be pessimistic if we are not aware of what is happening, that the view can be projected into the foreseeable future as an impending fate? To conclude, if everything from the beginning of time is not relevant to the events of the last day, then I don't know what is. We are living in the signs now, timeless. The recruitment has begun, preparations underway, and the conditions to join the army have also been sent out. 24, 26 conditions, not VAT inclusive, but 10 commandments inclusive. It is just being due to comply. Imam al-Islam is waiting for us, and not the other way around.
Son, Brother Mujahid, thank you for good information. I don't know what the audience is thinking now. Who's going to win for what's happening, but I see the judges discuss, so we'll give them a few seconds to just complete their discussion before we move on to our next speaker for tonight.
We are here to oppose the motion. The signs of Imam's reappearance are here. Before I start, my worthy opponent very enthusiastically and with lots of courage mentioned that one of the signs are the earthquakes that are taking place on this earth. You may be right, but let me tell you the hadith of the sixth Imam. When zina will be whispered, the earthquake will take place. So, not necessarily this has to be the sign of the appearance of the Imam. Due to our actions, earthquakes can take place. Large earthquakes have also taken place in Italy. If you refer to Mr. Wikipedia, you will find in 1915 in Italy, the largest earthquake took place, known as Evazaro earthquake. So that does not signify that earthquake happening or earthquake is one of the minor signs of the appearance of the Imam. Going to my worthy opponent, brother, we were beautifully termed that we are in prison. Yes, we are in prison. Let me ask you a question. Was the seventh Imam not in prison? But yet, he achieved this objective. My worthy opponent very enthusiastically said that the zuhur of the Imam will take place when the command of Allah comes. So, explain to please, the 313 people will fall from the sky. Definitely, apart from the command of Allah, we, the Ummah at large, have to be ready to tell the Imam, as we are waiting for your signs, likewise you are also waiting for the signs from the Ummah, that are you ready to accept me? Or otherwise, maybe you may want to create a situation, if you refer to Surah Baqarah, verse number 88 and 89, that what did the Jews do? When the Prophet came, they turned their backs on them. So, are we there to do the same with our Imam? You mentioned about the command of Allah, and now I felt connecting this sign of 313 people. The signs of the zuhur of Imam, as per what you presented, that the minor signs have already taken place, but the major signs are yet to come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran in Surah Baqarah, Allah mentions that the Ummah will come, not in the exact words of course, and I hope you're not referring to your mobiles. The Ummah will come and Allah will bring that Ummah, the 313 people being the companion of the Prophet. Refer to Surah Anbiya. It also mentions about the inheritors of the earth, the Imam and the inheritors. One of the major signs, and let me tell you, yes, you did mention that we will come up with this point, because You know that this is an authentic point, and it's going to come. But thank you for making it more easier for us by mentioning that there will be a cry from the heavenly sky. Am I saying this? No. Refer to the Holy Quran, Surah Ash-Shu'ara, verse number 4. Allah says, the sign. Now, maybe you can ask this question to Allah, what sign means. Allah says that there will be a sign from the heavenly sky. If we refer to the book called Kashful Gumma, volume 3, page 257, the fifth Imam also said, this is one of the major signs of the reappearance of the Imam that has not yet happened by worldly opponents. The fifth Imam says that this cry, this sound will come. Do you think it's going to be the sound of the fatakas of lighthouse? No. What the Imam says, he says this is going to be a phrase, a call out by Angel Jibreel to the occupants of not only Mombasa, but the entire globe, that the Haqq has now arrived. This is a sign of coming of our Imam. Are we bound to set time or knowing that when the Imam is coming? Or but my colleague said that the minor signs have happened, so are you trying to ignite a point that the time of the coming of the Zuhur is maybe near? Let me tell you one thing. Referring to the book Bihar al-Anwar, volume 51, Kamaluddin, volume 2, page 486, tradition number 3. Abu Ali Muhammad bin Hammam says that I wrote a letter to the Imam by asking when your reappearance will be. But the Imam replied him and said, those who fix the time of my reappearance are liars. When, in conclusion, I'll only present a poem of Sayyid Jafar, may Allah bless his soul. Al-Ajal jo kehte hain aa gaye to kya hoga? Al-Ajal jo kehte hain aa gaye to kya hoga? Kya hai apni taiyari, pesh hum karenge kya? I hereby rest my case. Thank you.
Ahsan, Brother Kaf Bimani. We'll give the judges a few seconds and then we will move into 5 minutes for each speaker, each lead speaker to come and submit their final presentation. Final submission.
Let me paint you a picture. It is a hot day on the lands of Karbala. And I'm not trying to make fun here, genuinely. It's a hot day on the lands of Karbala and Imam Hussein is right there, seeing his family being martyred. And suddenly out of nowhere, oh, Imam is here. Imam Zamana is here. Really? One of the signs of the 12th Imam is the martyrdom of Imam Hussein in Karbala? Yes, it might be. But what I'm trying to say is that can't possibly be the right sign. Maybe we are mistaken somewhere. At least it doesn't enter my head. My worthy opponents will have you know that the creation of the earth is also a sign of the Imam coming, Jesus Christ. Can we really say that? That as soon as the earth comes up, the Imam is there. I have appeared. But wait, it's not time yet. What I'm trying to simply say is that there is time for everything. And his time too will come. And I am the strongest believer in that. Al-Yamani, for example, excuse me, Al-Yamani, at the time of the 6th Imam, there was an uprising from Yemen. And somebody quickly came to Imam Jafar Sadiq and said, the Yamani has come. Would it be correct in my worthy opponent's mind that if Imam Zamana had come on that time? Where are we going with this? Seriously. There have to be definitive, very particular signs that Imam Zamana is coming. That's all I'm saying. That's all I have come to tell you. And I have come to convince you. And I'm sure by now, hopefully, God willing, you're convinced that yes, Imam Zamana will come when the major signs that are supposed to be there will be here. Earthquakes, for example. Earthquakes have been happening from time immemorial. Frequency, we don't know the frequency, how it was in the 1000 AD or 1100 AD. We don't. Yeah? This is just by But I mentioned that because of technology, we have managed to see, 50 years down the line, this is how frequency has been coming. And maybe there was a lower frequency then and a higher frequency now. Guys, come on. One of my worthy opponents mentioned that we want to plan for Allah. Na'udhu. How is that even possible? We would never want to plan for Allah. All we are trying to state is the fact that the major signs need to show in order for Imam to come. Finally, I love tea. Somebody mentioned tea. And he said that if you place it on the edge of the table, there's a chance of spill. Well, not if I'm there, but because I would have drunk it by then. The point that I'm trying to make is that how can you say that there is a spill in the next room when it is sitting on the dining table here? It's not possible. Maybe we are trying to make this up in our heads that what has come are signs. What does one of the Allamas say? What does one of the Sheikhs say? It's very simple. Only God knows what is going to transpire. Only God knows best what will come. I'd like to tell you, brothers and sisters, that it's very simple. Our argument, the summation of our argument, is as simple as this, that if the signs are to show, they should be only those signs, the signs that we know for sure that are going to come. Yeah? Otherwise, we'd be shooting in the dark, don't you think? With that, I'd like to tell you thank you all for listening. I rest my case.
Brother Kamar Somji, give the judges again a few seconds just to gather the marks. The judges are ready. We'll now move into the final speaker for tonight, Brother Zuhair Ladak from the proposing side, to give him the final submission.
Assalamu alaikum once again. I'm back again to close this floor, as is the tradition. But allow me to repeat the topic. I don't know, maybe the chairman of this debate knows the topic. You can please repeat it for us.
The signs of the Imam.
Of the Imam's reappearance idea. Do you hear the word major anywhere? Was it whited out? Because the whole motion of the opposition has been based on major signs. They ended up trashing the minor ones. So while we are at it, why don't we just trash the hadith there which contained it? Why don't we even trash the books in which those hadiths are contained? Minor signs, major signs, all are signs. Do you hear the motion saying that it is restrictive to major signs? Did you hear any one of the proposition here denying that the major signs have not occurred? No. We are here simply to say that the task at hand is that the signs are here. Minor, major, doesn't matter. The topic does not allow for that dichotomy. It does not allow. We have to stick to the topic. We knew this is going to be a Herculean task for the opposition. It was bound to be. That the ironies that they have presented themselves with here in front of you are so blatantly clear. I don't think it needs to be shown on somebody's retina for them to be seen. They have mentioned minor signs on several occasions. They have even quoted them. And then they decide to trash them down and say, no, focus only on the major ones. Exactly as we predicted, and they stepped up to the plate like clockwork. Exactly. They came here with the 5 major signs, and they are saying that these are the only signs that the Imam has to come with towards the end of time. I don't think the topic allows for that leeway. Probably I might be wrong, maybe. Or maybe the word major was kind of whited out. I didn't see it. But at the end of the day, we stuck to the topic, we stick to the topic, and the topic is the signs of the reappearance of the Imam is here. It's the signs. Major, minor is none of the business of this house today, neither it is part of the topic. It is very clear that as far as the signs are concerned, the minor signs, the major signs, the specific signs, the very mahtoom signs, the mahtoom signs, all of them are contained in our books. Trashing one means you trash the book. It is as simple as that. Why do I say so? Because one black dot is easily seen from any particular, if it is on a white cloth, it will be seen. A false hadith, or a hadith that is wrong, or it is being misquoted, or a hadith that has got dubious issues would actually require that book to be trashed in its entirety. Now, are we going to trash books that contain minor signs just because the opposition comes here and can't find a leeway where to swim and now they are groping for straws? Are we going to do that? Are we going to trash a book written by, let me think of, yes. Are we going to trash a book like Al-Ghaiba by Noman? Or maybe why don't we just trash Kitab al-Irshad by Sheikh al-Mufi? Because it contains minor signs. The opposition did not say that the major signs have occurred now. We accepted that the major signs may or may not have occurred, no problem. But the debate does not allow for that dichotomy. It does not allow. As far as we are concerned, we brought for you the points in front of you, and I believe we were very clear. As far as the summary is concerned, the topic being as broad as it is, and in concise wording as it was placed before us, the burden of proof squarely placed on the opposition to prove 0 signs. They needed to prove 0. They don't have to prove major. They don't have to prove minor. They don't have to prove general. They don't have to prove specific. They have to prove 0. And that is the fact. That is the topic. I believe they utterly failed. They failed pretty miserably. It was laughable. Of course, the requirement as far as the topic was concerned had to be adhered to. Secondly, their pursuit of future science also is uncertain because neither the Imam nor is Allah tied down to those major signs. He can change. Imam Bakir's hadith that the coming of the Imam will be like the coming of the hour. As far as the issue is concerned, the focus on the major signs will remove our focus from our Imam. But let me leave you with this one point. For those who received the notification on WhatsApp today, I believe you must have read the message that was typed. Let me read it for you once more. The first paragraph says, the one who drafted it says, we have seen a lot of changes in the contemporary world that normally confuses us to understand or explain to the younger generation that how these changes are related to the appearance of the time, of the Imam of the time, and how near Zuhur is. Pray tell, how did this guy know the time of Zuhur is near if he didn't see the sign? وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. Yemen, and some of the countries that were affected by the Arab Spring. So that's one. The other one, of course, was mentioned by my colleague as far as the disasters, the drop in morality, as far as the human society is concerned. These are some of the signs. As far as the major signs are concerned, of course, you have heard them. There are the five famous ones: the rise of Sufyani, the rise of Yamani, Khasr Reda, of course, there is the Sayha, and there is the killing of Nasr Zakir. Of course, all these are going to occur, yes. That is something we brought out clearly. So I guess that should answer your question. Thank you.
So the team that were opposing the idea, have you felt that, when we talk about uncertainty, that these are not certain signs? What is the possibility that you say because of uncertainty, these are not the signs for reappearance? Because uncertainty would give you the neutrality. It will not lead to not being these incidents as signs. It will not either lead to the certainty, like these are the signs. So how do you define this, like when you understand this? I hope you understood my.
I'm going to just repeat, just in case I misunderstood. The fact that what makes me think that maybe these minor signs are not technically the signs. Is that correct? So it's as simple as this, Maulana. Few of the signs that are there, the minor signs, is very simple. It's shown in Kitab al-Shar that only God knows best which signs are going to come and which signs are not going to come. Yeah? So for example, if there is an earthquake, does that mean that this sign is that means the Imam is coming? Or a series of earthquakes. There are natural disasters. Does it mean the Imam is coming? El Nino came in 97. And so many things have happened in the past to show that, oh, this could be a sign. 9/11. 9/11. This is a sign that Imam is coming. I am no authority. Not at all. Yeah? Nor am I saying that the ulama are out of place, not at all. Again. Yeah? All I'm saying is that the major signs are the ones to be capitalized on because they are the only ones that we are sure about. So if something happens in this mosque, for example, let's say there was a child was to fall down in this mosque and that was a sign, not necessarily for Imam, but that was a sign. Yeah? We're going to base the whole thing on that. So all I'm saying is let's look at those signs that we are sure of. And then if they have come, then I'm ready to cross over. But no, they haven't. Thank you.
Just to conclude the discussion, while my colleagues are calculating the numbers, I'm going up towards the discussions that we had, just to make it more understandable and beneficial for the people as well, because the discussions were, I believe, since it was a debate and you all are apparently professional debaters, that's why you were very much precautious in regard to the terms being used and all. So maybe at times people who are listening to the discussions, they are losing their links to some of the discussions. So I'm just concluding the matter that we were talking about the signs of the reappearance of Imam of the time. So I'm not looking at the people, but just to conclude the matter, they can also pay attention that the signs are being divided into hatmi and ghair hatmi, that we normally translate as major and minor, though the translation is not accurate. So it's certain and non-certain signs. Definitely when we are referring to the literal meaning of hatmi and ghair hatmi, especially for the brothers who are supporting the idea, this is not a categorization done by ulama, I believe. Only the title has been given to the matter. The real concept is there in ahadith. And why I'm saying that, that is based on the frequency of the ahadith that we have. So let's say in some of the ahadith, it is being said that in the end time, akharuz zaman, this will happen, that will happen. But specifically, whether this would be signed right before the reappearance of Imam of the time, it is not being said over there, when the discussion of akharuz zaman is there. So when we are talking about the specifically those signs which will occur right before the reappearance of Imam, those alamatul hatmi are majorly mentioned. Both when we are talking about the way we have this denotation and the frequency of the ahadith that we have in relation to the signs right before the reappearance. So that is why this concept is there, though the title has been given by ulama. The concept says that, okay, so if we are giving the importance, we would say, okay, if you are making a sequence and or the list, you would say these 5 or 6 signs would be the top list of the signs. Because of the frequency and because of the denotation that these signs are having in relation to the reappearance of Imam of the time. So that is why this is on one hand. But for the team who were opposing, though I was supposing myself to be a member of both of the teams, so that's why when you were proposing, I would think that this can be a matter of opposition, and then when they were opposing, I was thinking this can be a matter of justifying our idea. So the answer that the team who's justifying the idea that the signs are there can be that we are coming from the end of the list. For example, the earthquakes are there. For example, the wars are there. For example, the injustice is happening in Palestine, Pakistan, China, etc. in other things. Death without any reason or with various reasons based on various factors, which is one of the signs, is there. So this was a thing that I was expecting from the team who's justifying, that they could mention more examples of the minor signs, or based on your opinion, from the signs. You could present more examples like deaths without reason, like injustice in many places of the world, like the wars that we are having right now, like the earthquakes that we have, like the 13 people that we don't have, we have, let's say, supposedly, if you are saying that the signs is there. And the way you presented at the end of the discussion, that the drop in the moralities, etc., similarities between men and women, for example, these are the signs which are there. In order to refute the opposers, we can say the possibility that you are giving, that it happened before. For example, Brother Atfs said it happened in 1970 or 60 or somewhere around that, in Italy or France, I don't know. So I believe only by 1 or 2 examples in the past, in those times, you cannot refute the idea that in the current time, the situation is very worse. So the earthquakes are happening in very big frequency comparing to those times. For example, wars are happening in very big frequency. So that is why the signs are there. In relation to the major signs, the answer can be that if you are referring to the ahadith, the major signs, the alamat al-hatmi, Brother Qambar also mentioned in his speech that these are interrelated alamat, interrelated signs. So the way brother said, it's very similar to sa'a. That is a valid point, because you insisted on the same point that Yamani, Sufyani, and even Khurasani. By the way, Khurasani is not one of the major signs. Okay, these three are going to happen on the same day of same year of same month. So that means, let's say if we are having Qatl Nafs Zakiya, because Qatl Nafs Zakiya can be any of those the kids and children which are being martyred nowadays in Palestine or any other place in the world. So if we are supposing from those 5, one has happened, other 3 major signs are going to happen in one day. So let's say if we are saying that the other signs are there, possibly, and Nafs Zakiya is there as well, so the 3 signs, Khurasani, Yamani, and Sufyani, can happen tomorrow. That is why still I believe that the team that was justifying the idea, though we are having our standards to give the marks and grades, but still I believe their idea was valid. That these signs, because these signs are going to happen instantly and interconnected to each other in one day. So you cannot say that the signs are not there. Only interconnected signs are not there, but other signs are apparently are there. So though I shouldn't be taking any of the sides being a judge, but since we wanted to make an analysis for the people as well to understand, that's why I thought maybe I can have this input. Point number 2 over here, our purpose, this is for the people, that our purpose over here from this debate is not to announce who's the winner, who's the loser. It's rather to open the doors for more research, for more studies, and even the discussions being presented over here. I'm sure many of the things being said over here were not in your, apparently were not in your knowledge. If this is the matter, maybe in future as well, you can, is that a bell for me? Thank you, Hassan. Okay. So this was the point, to only present this discussion over here because of its importance, because of the challenges that we have in front of us. And finally, let me add this thing over here as well. Some of the signs, if are not there, these signs are not in your hands. You cannot make someone Sufyani. You cannot make someone Khurasani or Yamani to come and have the movement. You cannot do the Khasf Bayda. But some of the signs, if are not there, it is our responsibility to make that happen. This is the result for you of the debate. Let's say that 313 people who are the companions of Imam of the time, based on the debate that we had, let's say that 330 people, 13 people, the way Brother Altaf said, we have not received the Sayha from the skies and we can't see the people over there as the companions. If it is true, then it is our responsibility to make that happen. Isn't it? Isn't it, Muzammil? If 313 people are not being prepared by any other place in the world, it is a responsibility as a wajib-e-kifai for Mombasa people to make that happen. So yes, result of this debate would be, okay, some of the signs are not there. Why are not there? Because we were passive. We were not active. Remember that discussion? We have to become active muntazir. That can be the takeaway of today's debate for you. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for so much for your presentation as well. Now I'm giving the mic to Brother Nishad to announce the result. Thank you so much.
The judges have requested for 2 minutes before they announce the final verdict. Alright, so by the time the judges are preparing their final verdict, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, my elders, my brothers, my mothers, preparing for a debate, preparing for a speech, preparing for anything like this requires a lot of effort, a lot of dedication, a lot of research. And looking at the age category that we have over here, pretty sure most of them are working people. And it takes a lot of effort to bring up a 10-minute speech, a 5-minute speech, doing the research, especially knowing the authenticity of what they're going to come and say. So they all deserve, first of all, a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And the Jerk Islamic Religious Board has been generous enough to give these participants a certificate of participation and to acknowledge their participation in this debate and also acknowledge their efforts. So I request our three esteemed judges to kindly come up and award the certificates to our participants. Judges. Right, Maulana, please come up and assist us in giving the certificates to the participants. Brother Mujahid Rustam. Yeah, please.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Brother Zuhair Ladat.
Brother Kambar Somji. Sant Maulana, I'll hand over the mic to Nishad uncle to give the final word.
Respected elders, my brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We were thoroughly entertained as the judges. We enjoyed this debate in the way you presented yourselves, in the way you articulated your points, in the way you academically brought out the subject matter. And I think we commend you. I commend you on behalf of my co-judges as well. And we felt that this was a debate of very high standard. For those people who are audience, there is something that you should know. Because what has gone behind the scenes is only they know. And maybe a few of us know because we were somehow connected in the debate. So in literal and real sense, these gentlemen have only had 2 days of preparation. And in those 2 days of preparation, they have come up with information, they have come up with quotations from different sources, they have come up with brilliantly prepared academic discussion, and they have come with all confidence, without any fear, without any worry of what could the repercussion be, because this topic in itself is something that requires a thorough thought process, a thorough research, and then presented to an audience of not only here, but also those viewing online. So on behalf of the judges and on behalf of all of us, I think we should recite the salawat for coming immediately to the criteria of how we judge. So the judging criteria was based on 5 different areas. One is the subject matter, second was the presentation skills, third was the audibility, fourth was special features, and fifth was refutations. And under each topic we had different categories that we were looking at. So I will just give you a glimpse so that you know that we went into this very objectively. It was nothing subjective, it was very objective, so we were looking at specific points that were coming out from the speaker. So for example, on the subject matter, we were looking at things like, does the speaker define the motion clearly? And as a result, does he establish a good stance for his team? Is the content that they present relevant to the discussion? Discussion meaning the topic. Is the content elucidated explicitly? So are the speakers bringing out their points clearly without any ambiguity or any gray area? Does the speaker provide factual evidence for the content in discussion? So factual evidence was something that we were very much looking for here. Presentation skills, things like articulating points, eloquence, were they convincing? Does the speaker maintain eye contact? Gestures form a feature of this as well. Facial expressions as well. You are talking, you are engaging the crowd. Are you there or are you here? So these are things that we were looking for. Obviously, audibility means clarity of speech, how audible they were, whether they were able to vary their tones, and could they hold the crowd for the time that they were standing here in front of all of us. And then obviously special features, if they had any humor, quotations, professional language. Debate requires professional language to be portrayed, and respect for fellow colleagues. So these were the kind of specific things that we were actually looking into, so that we were able to make this very, very objective. Before I announce the result, and again, as Sheikh said, it is not something who is won, who is lost, but as a norm, we have to announce a winner, we have to announce a loser. But at the same time, we would like to add a disclaimer here, because whatever is the verdict of this debate does not portray in its research sense, in its scholarly sense, the stance of us 3 judges. Okay, this is mainly based on evidence that was presented by both the teams. It is mainly based on the criteria that was presented, that we had laid out, and it is purely based on how academically they were able to bring the points up. Okay. So I hope that maintains our stance that whichever way the verdict goes does not represent Sheikh's, Muhammad Bai's and myself's views on the subject, nor does it represent how whatever research has been done, whether the signs are there, not there, there are minor signs, major signs, irrelevant. It was purely based on what came forward. And having said that, people are tense. You're happy with the outcome? You're happy with the outcome? The motion has been lost, meaning the opposers have won the debate.
Can we have a better and louder salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad? And with that,